Welcome again to the next episode in 7 Minutes in Biblical Studies. I'm your host, Rick Barboa, and I have a question for you. Have you ever felt like God was silent? Like you were crying out into a void and the heavens were just closed? Now, if you've ever been there, if you've ever wondered where God was in your grief, your confusion, your weariness, then you're not alone. In fact, you're actually in very good company because the Bible doesn't shy away from this tension. It doesn't paint a picture of tidy faith, a faith that's always smiling, always composed. No. Scripture is full of voices that cry out, that question, that plead, that weep. And yet, those same voices often end in praise. There's a rhythm we find in Scripture, a movement I've come to know deeply in my own walk with God. It's often called the protest to praise pattern. Let's dive in and take a moment to walk through what I mean by this. It starts with protest, a cry from the heart. It may sound like this: How long, O Lord? Why have you forsaken me? Why do you hide your face? These aren't polite prayers. They're raw, they're real, and they're biblical. The Psalms are filled with them. Laments that pour out confusion, grief, anger, sorrow, emotions many of us were taught to avoid in our prayers. But God isn't offended by our honesty. In fact, he welcomes it. David, a man after God's own heart, wrote things like this: My tears have been my food day and night. And I say to God, my rock, why have you forgotten me? Even Jesus on the cross cried out with the words of Psalm 22, my God, why have you forsaken me? That's protest, friends. It's not faithlessness. It's faith with a pulse. Faith that knows God is still there even when he feels distant. Faith that believes he hears even when he hasn't yet answered. But friends, here's the beautiful part. In nearly every psalm of lament, something shifts. After the protest comes remembrance. The psalmist begins to recall who God is, what he's done, his faithfulness, his covenant, his mercy. It's as if in the very act of crying out, the heart remembers. Wait, he has come through before. He is God. He is good. He is near, and he does save. Sometimes the turning point is subtle. It may sound like this: But you, O Lord, are a shield about me. Yet I will trust in your unfailing love. Great is your faithfulness. This pivot is where protest begins to bend into praise. Not because the circumstances have changed. Oftentimes, they haven't. The enemies are still encircling them. The illness is still there. The loneliness still lingers. But the soul, anchored in who God is, finds the strength to worship anyways. That's praise born from pain. It's not polished, but it is powerful. Now, there's actually a structure in the Bible that follows this very flow. It's called the lament structure, and it shows up all over the Psalms and in books like Lamentations. Here's the pattern. Number 1, complaint or protest. Number 2, appeal to God's character or past actions. Number 3, declaration of trust or praise. A clear example is Lamentations chapter 3. After chapters of dark lament, Jeremiah writes this: The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Lamentation chapter 2, verses 22 to 23. The pain didn't vanish, but the hope reemerged. That's protest to praise. This isn't just poetic, it's also pastoral. It gives us a biblical way to process grief, fear, doubt, and despair. It reminds us that God doesn't demand perfection before we approach Him. He invites honesty, brokenness, and tears. And in return, He gives presence, peace, and slowly, praise. But there's more. What if I were to tell you this isn't just personal? What if this rhythm, this sacred movement from protest to praise, is something the church is meant to carry all together? What if part of your calling is to help someone else move through their protest and into praise? Paul writes this in Galatians chapter 6, verse 2, and he says, "Bear one another's burden and so fulfill the law of Christ." That means we don't just wait for others to get it together. We step into the foxhole with them. We sit in the ashes. We listen to their pain and we point gently, lovingly toward the hope they yet can't see. Because sometimes the only thing that helps someone move from lament to worship is the voice of a brother or sister saying, "I'm with you. Let's look to Him together." Friends, maybe you're in a season of protest right now. Or maybe you're standing in the quiet of praise, looking back on what He's brought you through. Wherever you are, know this: God is not distant. He is not indifferent. He sees, He hears, and He is worthy of your honest cry. So, friends, let's lift your protest, anchor our hope, and let the Spirit bring us once again to praise. May we be a people who don't hide our pain, but who bring it boldly to the only one who can turn mourning into dancing and despair into doxology. I leave you with this: the Lord is near to those who are brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm chapter 34, verse 18. This has been another episode in 7 minutes in biblical studies. I hope this has helped you. And if it has, please share, like, and subscribe. God bless you.